Our group aim, once we'd figured this whole thing out, was then to show this to the audience and hope for it to be reflective on them and for them to think about their own anxieties. That was our main aim. Our audiences, because we wanted them to feel as involved as we possibly did, involved, and we brought them in and out at certain points and had them dancing with us and stuff. This is Strange Fish by Deviate, and we love the movement piece so much that it inspired us to do a little experimentation, manipulating each other's body, as you can see in this scene.
Workshops to be moving and talking about life and death. I want to see what people come up with from their own humble resources.
Before the illness, I felt closed in, or I walled myself off.
Bill T. Jones's work was brought to our group by TAP, and we saw the interview that he did with Bill Moyers, and it was just really fantastic for someone to be so open and really push people to find out who they are. The group wanted to look at ourselves. We decided to do this. We did what he calls the path of life. It was really empowering to do. There were even parts of my life that I hadn't thought about in years, but really it actually was a really big impact on you. You don't even realize until maybe you're doing it. It was really interesting to do, especially it was so early on in our process as an ensemble.
There we go. Yeah. Oh, now soup. Soup. Would you like some soup? No, you're not on a diet.
Bobby Baker is a performance artist who specifically looks at mental health. She talks about her anxieties at the dinner table, having to host, the stress of it all. And her style is comedic, and she uses her humor as a tool, which I really enjoy watching it. And because I enjoy watching it, I wanted to use her specifically for my section as the main practitioner that I wanted to study. I think her work looking at mental health, not just anxiety, but of all types. She's been through it all. She was in a mental institution for a while, and she did a lot of drawings about how she thinks people perceive her and how she perceives herself in reality in the world. And I think there's a part of me that finds her very brave to be so open about it. Use the comedy side of things to be able to get my points and my anxieties across. I think it's a really good tool for the audience to be able to sit back and relax something, but actually looking back onto it, they can realize what the person is saying, and really it can create a huge effect on the audience. Now, I originally wanted to have me standing very basic, just like but we decided as a group for them to maybe circle me. So the idea of my particular section was that I believe I intimidate people quite a lot. So the role of the rest of the group circling me is to make me feel intimidated, like I feel I'm intimidating everyone else. That was the idea of it, which is brilliant. I love the idea of it, and I think aesthetically, it's the juxtaposition is really nice, with me stood, not really doing much, as you can see in the video, and the others moving, becoming more chaotic around me, which is lovely. The easiest part of Elle's specific section was the movement. We wanted to show two separate scenes of love, are able to show the audience a clear message of a relationship. Me and Zach paired up for this one. We thought that with my contemporary style and his hip-hop background, we were able to create something quite unique. We wanted, at the end of Elle's piece, still powerful, and she's still a woman, and she's very happy to have gone through what she's been through. So we wanted to kind of add a powerful beat to it almost, so the men would be pushed aside and us girls would do it. There's a great empowerment within the emotions and within the movement and the beat that we've created. It really speaks volume of powerful women coming together.
One particular section that we all really struggled with, and that was in Ash's piece. And because Ash is technically advanced, which is fantastic, that gave us an advantage on the tech side with music and lighting. However, because it is his advantage, it is his forte, it became very difficult when he wanted to do that, when there also needed to be some sort of movement to back up the lighting.
And you hear my left feet here, like, there's a tiger counting down. I need to speak with someone in my classes. Demons possess my head. They whisper, they're like screams.
That I think when it came with Ash wanting to do it with using lights, it stumped us a little bit. So I do think that maybe we were overcompensating with movement and forgetting that this was Ash's section and he was the priority to have responsibility over his section. I think as a group, we lost track of what this section actually meant to Ash. I think that's what we lost. So Zach came up with an idea. We came up with an idea of running away. So Zach said, let's do it in this style. And Tat said, well, let's do it in this style. And we were kind of going back and forth and trying to figure out a way to do it. And we just hit a brick wall and we couldn't really do anything about it. But we're forgetting, one, what this scene is actually about. And two, this scene shouldn't be about the movement. It should be focused on Ash's voiceover and the lighting. That's what it should be focused on. So I came up with the simple movement of the bouncing and just keeping it rotating. In that way, it keeps the audience still intact and they're not just having to use one sense, like just listening. They're still visually being excited in some way, but the movement is simple and the movement needed to stay simple for them to understand what the movement is doing for the voiceover. For me personally, I think maybe I would have picked a different anxiety. Even though the anxiety that I spoke about is very much true to me, I also think I wasn't vulnerable enough on stage talking about it. Something that I'm very vulnerable about is my weight. And so I think as a performer and as an artist, I would have really, really had to push myself emotionally to have spoken so openly for a longer length of time about my appearance and about my weight in particular. I think that's the thing that I would have changed if I did it again.